Alright, so for some reason, I thought it'd be a good idea to watch all 15 theatrically released One Piece movies. Terrible idea. I watched the ones that people said were good last year, and I'm a little bit of a completionist, so I decided I had to watch them all. Terrible idea, do not recommend. Essentially, these are the ones I recommend skipping. So what ones are worth watching, what ones aren't? Starting in order, so we have One Piece, the first movie. I appreciate this for nostalgic of the old animation style. It is before the Baratie, so it's just Luffy, Nami, and Zoro. It's a classic pirate adventure, but there's nothing really worth writing home about it. The main villain is forgettable. The treasure they're seeking, not all that entertaining. The fights didn't stand out to me. I've pretty much forgotten everything about this movie, and I only watched it like a few days ago. I'm going to put it impassable, meaning you can watch it, it's not terrible, but feel free to skip it. Movie 2, I enjoyed more. We have Sanji now, the crew feels a little bit more together. The Going Merry has been stolen, as well as like Zoro's swords, Sanji's shoes, or Luffy's shoes, someone. It's not all that memorable, but I do like how they have teamed up with a group of thieves. I think it was supposed to be a twist was very obvious, and honestly, I don't think it was even meant to be a twist. The villains are more memorable. Nami is being held hostage, and she's playing them all like a fiddle a little bit there. I'm going to still say passable because it didn't stand out that much. I didn't feel that invested in anything that was going on, but definitely better than the first movie. All right, third movie. I have seen terrible reviews for this one. It's the Kingdom of Strange Animals. It's definitely a Chopper-centric movie, and even by Chopper fans, apparently they don't like this movie. Granted, the little kid that is introduced in this movie is terrible. I do not like him. The premise is a little bit ridiculous. They've crashed on an island. Chopper gets declared the king because he fell from the heavens, and he's a little bit of a coward, like he is, but he's strong, he's brave, he's protecting the animals of the island as someone is after the horns. Again, I felt it was passable. If anything, I'm going to put it above the first two movies, so I'm doing great. Movie 1, not terrible, but not memorable, don't really recommend. Movie 2, slightly better. And movie 3, I can see it being more hit or miss for fans, but I still liked it more than the second movie. I don't know if it had more personality, if something about the fights worked better, something about the lighting, I don't know, okay? This is not a popular movie. I probably wouldn't, it's impassable, meaning you can watch it, you don't need to skip it, but this is not coming highly recommended either. But thankfully, we finally get a solid recommendation. The fourth movie. I don't even remember its name. Dead End, Dead Adventure, don't care. The Straw Hats have been, they're out of money. They're eating at a bar, and they hear about this underground race that the winner gets, I think it's 300 million berries or something like that. Something ridiculous. And Nami's just like, life or death situation? I'm not doing that. Wait, it's how much money? Yeah, sign us up. And of course, they go on a race. It's a whole host of shenanigans. There is a very solid bounty hunter with just style that I really like. The main villain being a former Marine with a cool devil fruit power. There's an old man working in a boiler room. The action, the passion, and more than anything, I love the concept of an outsider on the Straw Hat ship and just seeing these feared pirates interact with each other, goofing off, and talking about how they're putting their life on the line for their dreams, but not taking things too seriously. And oh my god, Nami is phenomenal in this movie as this little kid is just like, my life isn't worth living. She's like, what kind of life have you had? Do you know what I've gone through? Of course life's still worth living. You have to. I think the personality of the characters worked well. The action, the fighting, it was just a fun action-adventure time. Definitely recommend this one. Okay, I love cursed swords. Apparently that is my thing. As soon as this movie 4 started, I'm like, oh, I got invested so quickly. We have an awesome Zoro moment. Someone threw a sword dagger thing. He unconsciously moves his head to dodge it while sleeping. Great opening. Loved it. I have never had a movie go downhill so fast. This was the epitome of just meh. And I was so hopeful. I didn't know anything about this movie. They gave me a cursed sword. I thought I was going to love it. And for that reason alone, the disappointment, I gotta say, skip this one. Movie 5. I don't want to say it's terrible, but it leans so heavily into like magic and prayer. And there's a priestess, and her powers are she's very good at praying and magic barriers and these orbs that are not the Shikon jewel, but they're giant versions of it, and an evil cursed sword and possession. It's just so magical, but it's not a fun adventure fantasy. It doesn't lean into the mythologies. It's just, I don't know. Very Zoro-centric with his past of friends. But just the entire time, I'm like, okay, do something cool with this premise. And I never felt it ever did. Then you have the sixth movie. My God, my God, my God. Super does not begin to describe the sixth movie. Baron of, I keep saying Omasu and Omatsuri, something like that. My God. Dark. Dark, 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 dark. I adore this movie so much, not just as a One Piece movie, just as a work of art in general. It starts off with this strange animation style, and I think I'm watching some old fan-made art house movie. And I'm like, oh, I don't even know if I'm gonna be able to get past the animation on this. And then it draws you in. This could not have worked with any other animation style. I cannot tell you a single thing about it because you have to go in blind. Just know it is dark, it is phenomenal, and I loved every single second of it. I think there's a giant goldfish, I can tell you that. But like the crew is being corrupted and turning on each other, manipulated. Again, it is so good. You have to watch this movie. And then we have another skippable one. My God. I don't know, giant metal something of Karakuri Castle, no relation to the Big Mom's son, or the island where Vegapunk was born. Just, I'm convinced this movie was made just to make Nami's boobs bounce, because it happened an unnecessarily amount of times. Boring situation, an obvious twist, boring main character who's just so pathetic, it's sad. Cool grandma, not worth watching. Skip it. Now, this is when I feel like it's going to be more individual dependent, because the next movie is for Arabasta. And for me, I want to say skip it, but we'll just put it in passable. Because on the one hand, Arabasta is when I became invested in One Piece. This is when I got hooked into the story. And even though this is a condensed version of the events of Arabasta, I still cried at the same moments I did in the manga. I was still so invested in the story, seeing it play out. It's nice to have this see it animated, because I haven't watched the anime yet. But if you don't know the full story that you get with the manga, it's not going to hit the same. The emotional impact is not there without already having read the manga, or I would imagine have watched the anime. So it's nice to see a condensed version for fans, but there's nothing worth notable new with the story, and it does not work as a synopsis standalone thing if you haven't already read the manga. So for me, skip it, but my love of Arabasta and Vivi as a whole, I gotta put it in passable and just choose if this is something you want to watch. Next we have the Chopper movie, basically retelling Drum Islands, and again, I personally skip it, but as the broad audience, just you know what you want out of your movies. Condensed version of Drum Island, but with the biggest change, Frankie and Robin are on the crew. So this is some alternate weird timeline where they do Drum Island after Ennis Lobby, I guess, Water 7. I'm very confused with when this is supposed to take place, and I don't like it. Because first of all, how dare you get rid of my beloved Vivi? And then you introduce Wapple, whatever the king's name is, brother, younger, older, don't care. And not worth it. I honestly fast forward through most of the movie because A, I've already seen all the events of Drum Island, I miss Vivi, and the introduction of Frankie and Robin didn't add anything that new to me. The backstory is fine. I love Drum Island. I love Chopper. It's great. I love his backstory. I love his time on this island. I cried. Obviously, I think I cried during every part of the manga. But this did not have the emotional impact for me. I've already seen it all before. It didn't have Vivi, okay? It didn't have Vivi. I was not interested. Back to a solid much-watch movie, we have Strong World. And I have not decided, I did not consider if this is better than the Dead End Adventure one. I want to say it is. Yeah, it is. It's better. It gotta be. Strong World is phenomenal. We see Shinki, non-canon. We have a great introduction. Nami is wonderful. Of course, been kidnapped. We have like the Straw Hats going full on mafioso on this group. It is wonderful. The Luffy's fight is great. I love the world. I love the energy. This one is definitely worth watching. I do gotta say though, after or before watching Strong World, you have to watch episode 0 because seeing that interaction with Shinki and Roger and the dynamic and relationship that they have, the rivalry wanting to take over the world on Shinki's end, the drive for adventure on Roger's end, the dumb egg on the boat, which is not a plot point but should have been, how he escaped from Impel Down, it's so good. Watch episode 0 around the same time as Strong World. Now, this is where people are going to like take away my credentials as a One Piece fan because I'm sorry, but One Piece 3D Chase is not that bad. Don't get me wrong, the animation is god-awful. Let me just put this up in, again, you can hate me. Solid One Piece movie that I would recommend. It is terribly animated. It looks like a PlayStation 1 or PlayStation 2 cutscene. I'm not lying. But it's 30 minutes long. The entire premise is simply someone has stole Luffy's hat and he's trying to get it back. All the characters are perfectly, like, within their personality. He's trashing the library, looking for his hat, and Robin's just there reading a book or drinking coffee or something like that, and her hands are popping up, catching the books to put them back on the shelves. It's 30 minutes long, and it's just him trying to get his hat back as he ends up on a naval base. One of the Navy officers, I made my hit list, because how dare you. It's a good story. It's probably would have been a good PlayStation game, and that's all it is to it. Have fun with that simple premise. It's 30 minutes. It's not that big a waste of the time. Get past the terrible animation. I grew up with a PlayStation 1, okay? Okay, then you have Film Z. Yeah, we're putting this one up in the top of solid. Probably nothing's going up with Super. Very little's going up with Super. That belongs to movie 6. But Film Z has an incredible villain. If it wasn't so... There's like a specific spoiler in there that I'm like, I can't really recommend to this one who, like, as just an introduction to the series. Otherwise, I would. To get the feel, the heart, the soul of the Straw Hats, how they interact with each other, the danger that they're fighting. It's a little bit weird with, like, dino eggs. Yeah, I guess the premise of the big bad's plan is a little over the top, a little bit jumping the shark kind of vibes. But... he has an interesting backstory, the animation is phenomenal, the fights are good, and just the heart of the Straw Hat crew as a whole. I definitely recommend this one. But probably a non-popular opinion, because I know a lot of people love Film Z. I love Film Gold, so let me just pop that on the top of solid, because my god, I do love a casino, okay? It's a heist movie. Luffy is oblivious to what is happening. He doesn't know what the plan is. It's Nami-centric. I love Nami. I do not think she uses Zeus, so that's upsetting. But everything is like coated in gold. They're at a casino. They get into debt. They have to pay it out. There is the most broken devil fruit in history with like the luck fruit where she can put your luck up or down. Phenomenal. 10 out of 10. Great characters, great side characters, great twists, great casino, great heist movie. Love it. 10 out of 10. I love a good casino heist movie, okay? I'm very easy to please. Listen, I want to put this one in like passable, choose if you want to watch it. But I also want to put it in skippable because all it is cameos and what would be like hype moments. And then if you write a story with only hype moments with no concern of plot, is it really a movie? Or is it a trailer, an extended trailer? That's what Stampede is to me. So personally, skip. But you know what? I'll put it on the bottom of passable. Because it is a fun time, be more fun with friends, like in a theater. I can see people who watch this with other people around and in an open theater with strangers. Yeah, that might be fun. But all this is hyped moments, and it needed a stronger narrative story around it. From what I remember, there's a pirate festival, bunch of big names come, and a bunch of other enemies are trying to kill them. And none of the interactions that I wanted to happen actually happened. Then there's Film Red. Some people are going to hate this. I love a good musical. So for me, solid movie. I'm a little bit iffy on where I'm going to put it. I definitely want Z higher. Red and Strong World can kind of go back and forth for me. I think I got to give it to Strong World, though. So, we'll go with just below Strong World. I like Film Red. It's a musical. The main character is entertaining enough to me. We have focus with Shanks and Luffy. They're dynamic. Shanks, I'm going to let's not go into spoilers because I didn't really know that much about it going in. You have the Big Mom Pirates there. Kobe, my darling boy, is in it. And unlike Stampede, where everyone felt like a cameo, the interactions and who got working together and how they interacted in this situation felt more natural to me. But also the forced aspect of like a musical devil fruit kind of turning this into a musical a little bit also brought down my expectations, like reality, like would these people actually interact? Because when you're in a musical, even though they're not taking part in the singing and dancing musical, I'm like, for whatever reason, I can let a lot of things slide. So solid recommendation, would watch this movie. So in conclusion, Baron Omatsuri, Secret Garden Island, whatever flower that movie's name is called, greatest One Piece movie ever made, full stop. I will not be accepting any arguments on the contrary. My personal second favorite is going to be Film Gold, followed by Z, Strong World, then Red, Dead End Adventure, and I'm saying the 3D movie is not as bad as its reputation leads you to believe. It's 30 minutes of your time, and the animation, while god-awful, felt a little nostalgic to me. Okay, am I crazy about that last 3D one? Probably, okay? I don't know what to tell you. But that's all I got. Talk to you later. Let me know what your favorite One Piece movies are. Which ones do you think are worth watching? Unpopular opinions, and which ones are just honestly trash. All right, talk to you later. Bye.